This is the finals of the IFSA Strongman World Championships. From Reykjavik, Iceland. Hi again, everybody. I'm Doug Anderson. This is the final two events to determine the IFSA strongest man on the planet. 12 men have come to see if they can dethrone the champion, Zydrunas Savickas. It's really a big race between the top 5 men right now. Savickas is in the mix to maintain his championship, along with Kuklayev and along with Vasil Vereshchuk. Nick Best, Vitas Blakaitis, Stolis Brusokas, Irvin Katona, Kuklayev, and Magnuson are the first 6. The next 6 are Murmets, Ortmeyer, Savickas, Shapansky, Thompson, and Vereshchuk.
The yoke, it's all about body stability and leg strength.
Nick Best and Irvin Katona out of the gate first to take on the super yoke. The whistle goes and Nick Best is first out of the gate. Slowly, Katona following along behind. 410 kilos, 904 pounds. And Nick Best is flying down the course. He can challenge for a world record time. Best finishing off 19.85 seconds. Irvin Katona struggling down the course. He looks like he'll be able to finish though as well. And he'll come through and stop the clock at 35.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm a little better at the yoke. I feel better. It wasn't a bad run, but I got a little wobbly, but not too bad. That's what my boy doing.
Irvin says it was a very hard discipline, but I managed to finish it. I'm very happy because of that. Next year, I will do better. Zydrunas Savickas holds the current world record at 16.15 seconds for the 410 kilogram, 904 pound super yoke. Travis Ortmeyer and Andrus Murmets coming down the course. Murmets slightly ahead now, heading into the final few meters. Murmets looking to post a very good time. Can he beat the time of Nick Best? Yes, he does, but only slightly, 19.5 seconds. Now it's up to Ortmeyer, who crosses the line at 24.06.
That's a good performance, considering where I am today. Picking that up. I guess yesterday I strained my trap and it's just gotten worse and worse, but enough of this crybaby crap. I just had to finish.
Well, last year was a little bit better, and this other guys will be much better. Now, not very good shape.
Well, Andrus Murmets indeed stating the obvious that the competition is getting tougher and tougher every year here in IFSA Strongman. Vasil Vereshchuk, one of the best at the super yoke, taking on Bendik Magnuson. Vereshchuk going after a world record time. Look at him flying down the course. 16.15 is what he needs to beat. Looks at the clock. 16.8 seconds, just missing out on a world record. Magnuson now having difficulty. He's halfway through this course. 410 kilos. Bendik Magnuson struggling to come to the finish line. Still plenty of time left on the clock for him to gather himself and lift this 410 kilo, 904 pound implement. Nice job by Bendik Magnuson, the hometown hero. 48.6 seconds. Vasil Vereshchuk saying thank you to the crowd for a wonderful competition so far. Vasil also said, I enjoyed it very much. These are disciplines which fit me. Indeed they do. Just shy of a world record performance in the super yoke. Well, the man who holds that world record is Zydrunas Savickas, and that sits at 16.15 seconds. Savickas may be able to break his own record. He comes flying out of the gate, as does Great Britain's Ollie Thompson, trying to keep pace with the big man from Lithuania. The Big Z is flying down the course. Can he challenge his own world record? Zydrunas Savickas slowing up near the end, and he'll stop the clock at 17.82 seconds. Now, Ollie Thompson. Thompson struggling to get across the line, but finishes in a good time of 27.8.
Yeah, it's best world championship.
Yeah, Zydrunas Savickas hit the nail on the head when he said this is the best world championship thus far. Robert Shapansky, Mikhail Kuklayev come out of the back, set to take on the super yoke, 410 kilo, 904 pounds. Kuklayev knows that he can certainly put up a good result in this one. He's been on fire throughout this whole competition, and Maximus Shapansky will give him a great race. Neither man have put down so far. Look at the pace that they're moving at. Tremendous job by both competitors. Shapansky matching Kuklayev step for step. They cross the finish line almost in unison. 20.11 seconds for Kuklayev, 20.29 for Shapansky. Kuklayev is ecstatic.
Dziękuję, no. To moja ulubiona konkurencja.
Robert Shapansky says, thank you. That's my favorite discipline, the super yoke. However, my leg injury is bothering me. If I did not have this problem, my result would still be better. We will see. I'm still satisfied with the result. Nevertheless, I'm annoyed by the injury.
Ze swojego startu, bo przecież ta kontuzja mocno mi przeszkadza. My best result. Thank you, Iceland!
Mikhail Kuklayev, the 27-year-old Russian. I'll tell you something, he's a 6-time Russian champion of weightlifting and has the greatest personality you could find in any strongman anywhere. Seems to be friends with just about everybody. Misha always has a smile on his face, and when we asked him about the sport of strongman, his saying was, all I do is for my parents, my wife, and my child. I do not want to bring the danger and the negativity of strongman. It is a very dangerous sport. I do not want to bring it back home. All I want to have at my home is positivity. All I want is to bring home some medals.
Я не хочу приносить какую-то боль какую-то там своим родным этим видом спорта. Я приношу только медали и кубки. Я не знаю это. It's my first cap. I was in this cap in my first international competition, and I was third in my first international competition, and it's my talisman. It's make my mom, and I think it's helped me. Dear buddy.
The final two competitors, Vidas Blakaitis and Saulius Brusokis of Lithuania. The number 2 and number 3 top men in Lithuanian strongman. Blakaitis, look at the tremendous concentration in his eyes. The world record sits at 16.15 seconds, held by fellow Lithuanian Zydrunas Savickas. But look at Blakaitis. He's flying down the course. Blakaitis is set to set a new world record. Look at him cross the finish line. 14.73 seconds. That's a new world record for Vidas Blakaitis. Saulius Brusokis stops the clock at 21.6 seconds. Vidas Blakaitis smashing the world record of fellow countryman Zydrunas Savickas. 14.73 seconds. Joyfully, Vidas says, this is my favorite event, and that's why I am the winner. Though I did not know the time spent in the distance, I am pleased with it and a happy end of it. What a job by all 12 competitors here in the final on the super yoke. But we saw a world record performance, and a world record performance coming from Lithuanian Vidas Blakaitis. 14.73 seconds, eclipsing the world mark of fellow countryman Zydrunas Savickas, the current world champion. The results of the yoke have Blakaitis in first, Vidaschuk in second, Savickas in third, Mittermets in fourth. Shapansky moves down to seventh, Katona and Magnuson rounding out the top 12 in the yoke.
I mean, the sport is fun to do. It's very hard, it's very difficult, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, you get treated very well. The more media exposure it gets, the more things like this that go on, the farther the sport's going to go.
The competition is getting heavier and heavier almost every year. So, like for instance, here we do super yoke, 410 kilos. 10 years ago, super yoke was 320 kilos. The guys are getting bigger and bigger. Sadrunas is 180 kilos. He's huge. He's a giant.
It's coming closer to being more mainstream, even though a lot of people watch it on television. It's still considered like underground sports, or it's got a cult following. I think in the future, probably after I'm finished, there'll be more of a mainstream, like maybe like American football.
Russia's Igor Badan says that this kind of sport will only grow. In fact, he says, when I look in Russia, many students are taking up strongman as a sport. And even also women in Russia and many sports federations have made this popular among the young people.
I think our results will be growing, and someday will be when people can lift 1,000 kilograms.
A lot of other sports just appalls to certain groups, but this is for everybody. Not to do though, but to watch.
The Stones are one of the favourite strongman events. This tests back strength, arm strength and overall body strength.
The heavy set of the IFSA Ring of Stones, and there is the new King of Stones, as I like to call him, Travis Ortmeyer. Gave up his record in the light set of Stones, then took it right back with a blazing time of 19.20 seconds. He has the best record in the world right now at 28.49. Through the 160 kg stone, 353 pounds. Look at Ortmeyer as the clock ticks through 19 seconds, struggling to get it up. He's still on a very good pace and can eclipse his world record. Travis Ortmeyer, 180 kilo. The Big Daddy is up and on, and it is 28.9 seconds.
Not my best, not even close, but for having one arm that's working, I take it. That's all I can ask right now.
So Saulius Brusokas of Lithuania steps up. Brusokas is capable of posting a very good time. He's a tall man, so that first stone is no difficulty whatsoever. Saulius, after the second stone, 150 kilos goes up easy. Now the 353-pound third stone at 160. Coming up on the 22nd barrier for Saulius Brusokas. Excellent job from Brusokas. Over 30 seconds now for Brusokas. He's having trouble with stone number 5. Brusokas may be credited with only 4 stones if time expires, or he is unable to get stone number 5 up and on the ring. Stone number 5 won't go this time for Saulius Brusokas of Lithuania. He's credited with 4 stones in 27.08. Saulius says, I'm very pleased having reached the final, and this is my first world championship. To say the truth, I'm very satisfied with the results in spite of my trauma yesterday. Today I'm a bit better. I thank you all. Thank you very much. The British champion is Ollie Thompson. Thompson needs all 5 stones. He needs to do it in a great time. This is pretty much for personal pride considering where he sits in the standings. At this point in time, for a lot of the athletes that are a little ways down in the standings in the finals, they want to set a personal best mark. They want something to shoot for. Ollie Thompson, through 16 seconds, has the first 3 stones up. 2 more stones to come. This is 170. At 375 pounds, that's up and on. A good performance so far from Ollie Thompson of Great Britain. Can he break the 30-second barrier? Yes, he does. Stopping the clock at 29.4 seconds.
Level's amazing. There's no easy points here. It's so tough. I've really enjoyed the experience my first time. I'm going to come back a lot of times, better each time. These guys keep raising the bar. I'll keep raising my own standards with it, but I've had a great time.
Well, here comes Maximus Robert Szczepanski. We remember in the light set of stones the trouble he had with the height of the first ring. Well, it gets a little more difficult right here. The stones are a little bit heavier. We start with 140 kilos, 309 pounds, instead of the 120 kilo stone of the first stone in the light set, but this one goes up with relative ease for Robert Szczepanski. Second stone weighing in at 150, 331. Oh, he drops it. Robert Szczepanski dropping the second stone. I thought he would have been a little easier on the second stone, but it just wasn't about to go. The third stone now for Szczepanski. He gets that one up and on. Certainly taking his time now, rolling on to the fourth stone. Time crossing the 40-second barrier for Robert Szczepanski of Poland. Maximus lifting the 170 kilo, 375 pound stone, and now he moves on to the Big Daddy at 180 kilos.
55 seconds.
Up and on, and he stops it before the 1 minute barrier at 59.3.
My result, Atlas Stones.
Szczepanski says, to my result in the Atlas Stones discipline, I would still like to say that my muscle is now torn. I will have to treat myself medically, thus I have a very serious injury. Well, here is Andrus Murmets of Estonia. Murmets can fly through the stones with the best of them, but he's been struggling of late in each and every discipline. Many of these great athletes have second jobs at home. Andrus, of course, a police officer in Estonia, so you wonder how much their job and home life takes away from their training when they're going for a world championship like Andrus Murmets. He gets it up and on the second ring. Slow and deliberate, Murmets just wants to finish the competition. Always has a smile on his face and always quick to hand out a compliment to one of his fellow competitors. 170 kilos, 375 pounds. Murmets gets that one up and on. Now he moves on to the fifth and final stone.
46 seconds.
Coming up on the 50-second barrier is Andrus Murmets now. At 50 seconds, drops it on at 57.16 seconds. That's a good effort as he will finish off the competition in style. Vidas Blakaitis, and look at him come out of the gates. He's already set a world record in the super yoke, dropping the first stone onto number 2. We've seen Vidas more than once have the stone roll back and hit him in the shoulder or the side of the head. He is very intent in this part of the competition. 3 stones quickly on, under 20 seconds for Vidas Blakaitis. The world record at 28:49 is held by Travis Ortmeyer of the United States. Over 32 seconds now as Blakaitis will take his time on the 5th stone.
40 seconds, come on Vidas, 40 seconds. 50 seconds.
Having trouble getting it lapped, finally does. And once again, there are no blocks or barriers to help the guys roll the stone up. They've just got to lift it on and drop it in the ring. Blakaitis does it in 51.2 seconds. Vitas says that this competition has been extreme. Every athlete has gotten better since last year. I've improved as well, but so has everybody else in the competition. Here's the mountain of a man that I like to call Vasil Vereshchuk from the Ukraine. Look at him slapping those stones, getting ready. He knows, and he has been here before. He's been a world champion. He knows what it's going to take home the world title here in IFSA Strongman. Vereshchuk with the first stone, up and on, fairly simply. Second stone, number 2, at 331 pounds was easy. Now 160 kilo, 353-pound third stone. That's up and on, under 15 seconds. Vereshchuk is on a roll, coming up to the fourth stone at 160 kilo. Now to the 180 kilo Big Daddy at 397 pounds. Vasil Vereshchuk, can he break the 30-second barrier? Just shy at 30.5 seconds. Vasil says this championship very particularly is heavy, and almost everyone is equal. One person wins one event, one wins the other event, and then it makes for an intriguing championship altogether. The second to last man out of the gate to take on the IFSA heavy-set Ring of Stones, it's Russian super heavyweight Misha Kuklayev. The world record sets at 28.49 seconds. Kuklayev, through the first two stones, is very quick, under 10 seconds. The 160 kilogram, 353-pound stone is up and on. Kuklayev is on a roll with only 2 stones to go. Has it lapped, rolls that up and on. He's got a shot at the world record. Here comes Mikhail Kuklayev, over at 27 seconds. Can he beat it? Stops the clock at 29.2 seconds, just shy of the world record set by Zydrunas Savickas, who is still to come. But boy, does that put the pressure on the Big Z, Zydrunas Savickas. To hold on to his crown, he either needs to set a new world record or tie Kuklayev and hang on in the point standings. We'll have to see if he can do that. At this point, he's about a half a second behind Kuklayev, but in the first stone, it looked like he strained his left bicep. You see, he's favoring his right side now. He's using his right arm to get the stones up and on. But Zydrunas Savickas sets another world record, 25.6 seconds, injury and all. He eclipsed Travis Ortmeyer's world record of 28.49, and the disappointed Mikhail Kuklayev's face tells you the whole story.
He finally did it. It's about time.
Zydrunas Savickas, the world champion once again by virtue of a world record in the IFSA Ring of Stones.
Very high results. A lot of new world records. Everybody from last year increased results. 20 kilograms in log. Deadlift very good. This sport's growing very fast.
Indeed, the sport is growing very fast, and as we heard from many competitors, it's becoming a very tight field to play in. Everybody has increased their level of performance at each and every competition, and the IFSA World Championships was no exception. It took a world record from Zydrunas Savickas in the Atlas Stones to claim his crown for the second consecutive year. There are your final 6 competitors from the Atlas Stones, and the final results have Savickas taking home the IFSA World Championship for the second consecutive time. 2 full points ahead of Russian Mikhail Kuklayev, Vasil Vereshchuk finishing in 3rd spot. The same podium finish as 12 months previous with the flip-flop of Vasil Vereshchuk and Mikhail Kuklayev in 2nd and 3rd. That is the John Paul Sigmarsson Trophy, emblematic of the top prize here in IFSA Strongman. There's your 3rd place finisher from Ukraine, Vasil Vereshchuk. And a well-received round of applause for Vasil. Misha Mikhail Kuklayev, unable to pick up his first world championship, a little disappointed, but he did move up in the overall standings from last year, from 3rd to 2nd place overall. But the man of the hour is the Big Z, Zydrunas Savickas, his 2nd consecutive IFSA World Championship, and he steps to the top of the podium with his 2 compatriots. This is what Strongman is all about. The IFSA World Championships in Reykjavik, Iceland have proven to be once again a test of the greatest the sport of strongman has to offer. Zydrunas Savickas, the true strongest man in the world. I'm Doug Anderson. Thanks for joining us for the IFSA World Championships from Reykjavik, Iceland. Visit us on the web at IFSAStrongman.com.